Hey folks, this is Kalani. It's been a long wait for some new World of Warcraft content, but we're finally there. Patch 9.2 is here, and there's a lot to look forward to. A brand new zone, a new 11 boss raid with some special changes, and a lot of new content that everyone can take part in. But with the wait being so long, players might have moved on to something else. A new game, a new MMO, maybe a new hobby. But we all know that World of Warcraft itch just never seems to fully go away. So is patch 9.2 the right time to scratch that itch? Is patch 9.2 worth coming back to play? Well, let's find out. Before we jump in, be sure to hit up that like button and subscribe so you never miss another video. Let's start by talking about the all-new content that everyone can enjoy. Patch 9.2 will introduce a brand new zone, Zereth Mortis. Along with a new zone, you can always expect new storylines, and this time we're going to be wrapping up the adventures of the Jailer. I actually think this could be one of the more important storylines that we've seen recently because it sets the stage and the tone for the next expansion. Whatever happens to the Jailer, it's going to be instrumental for our story going forward. It could be bad, it could be good, but whichever way it swings, it's going to have a lasting impact on World of Warcraft's future. And let's be honest, Shadowlands has struggled as an expansion in general, but especially story-wise. So I'm really excited to see what happens and where we go from here, and I really do hope that they wrap up everything in a neat little bow and we move on to a new adventure, leaving the Shadowlands and the Jailer far behind. With a new zone to explore, there are new systems to progress through, new reputations to earn favor with, new rares and treasures to hunt down, and a whole bunch of new collectibles to get your hands on. Now, the big new system in this zone is the Cipher of the First Ones. There is honestly so much going on here. You can unlock the ability to speak to different NPCs and start different quests and storylines. You can unlock new questing hubs, new powers to use in the zone, different ways to use those powers. You can turn your Pokepoc companion into a bodyguard. You can even dress Pokepoc up in a variety of ways, and this system also has a new gearing up path baked into it. As you unlock more traits and talents and spend more of the Cipher's currency, your equipment level will increase, which in turn increases the item level of various gear rewards in the Zereth Mortis zone. It's a really cool way of handling a solo play outdoor content gearing progression path. You can also unlock the protoform synthesis feature. This is going to be really cool for all of the collectors out there. When you unlock this forge, you can craft pets for yourself, and then you can unlock another larger forge that lets you craft mounts for yourself. All of these recipes use the same kind of materials, and all of those materials can be found throughout the Zereth Mortis zone. So as you kill monsters, you can basically collect their essence and their matrices and basically just create what you've been killing over and over again. There are so many pets and mounts in this system that you can craft too, and you get to choose which ones you make first, with some of the materials also dropping from specific monsters. Like if you want the items to make a bug mount, you can go kill bugs to get more of the required materials, so you can specifically work towards mounts of your choosing. It's a really cool system, and I think players will have a lot of fun with it. Later on in the patch, about 8 weeks after the release date, we should also get access to another feature in Zereth Mortis, the Creation Catalyst. The Creation Catalyst allows you to craft your own tier gear. You might have heard that tier gear is returning in 9.2, and it's returning with a twist. Almost everyone can get their hands on tier gear. It's not just locked to the raiders this time around. The Creation Catalyst will allow you to turn any Mythic Plus dungeon item, any rated PvP item, or any raid item into a piece of tier set gear. So you can take a headpiece you got from PvP, slap it into the Creation Catalyst, and it will give you the headpiece for your set. Do that with 3 other pieces and you have your 4 set bonus without ever having to step foot in the raid. Tier gear by itself is enough reason to check out patch 9.2 in my opinion, and it being so widely accessible means even more players have a reason to come back. Tier gear has a unique transmog for each class. There's a 2 set bonus and a 4 set bonus that you can unlock by collecting that many pieces of your set and equipping them, and some of these set bonuses not only increase your character's power massively, but they also change up how you play and give you interesting new effects to play with and work around. I actually think one of the main reasons older expansions were able to keep players' attention longer was because the next set bonus could change up your rotation significantly, and each new raid came with new effects. They didn't really have to change that much about your class as you went through an expansion because the set bonuses kinda did it for them. There's actually another way to get tier gear, by the way, your weekly vault rewards. Any and every reward option in here has a chance to yield a piece of tier gear, so whether you kill raid bosses to fill up the raid row, or run Mythic Plus dungeons for the dungeon row, or take part in PvP for the PvP row, every reward option here has a chance to give you tier gear. So if you fill everything up, you could have 9 chances per week to get the piece of tier gear that you need. This also means anyone who does just dungeons, or anyone who does just PvP, as long as you fill up the vault slots, you also have a chance to get tier gear and you don't have to raid whatsoever. Another update that everyone can take a crack at is over in Torghast. Now before you write it off entirely, there is a new game mode in Torghast. Instead of working your way through a sprawling layer, either killing or avoiding everything as much as possible and making it to the end bosses, this mode has you in one room for the entire layer. There are portals that spawn monsters right on top of you in waves, so the monsters are coming to you rather than you going to the monsters. You can fight normal monsters, rares and bosses from each portal, so it's a good mix and it keeps you on your toes. You also get so many anima powers in this mode, letting you really go crazy. It's a good change of pace and it can be really fun with classes that have strong powers and excel at fighting waves of monsters. There are also new rewards for this game mode, including a pet, a title, a new mount and a toy. As an extra little bonus on top of that, Torghast is also not going to be required at all in patch 9.2. There is a new currency to upgrade legendary items once again, and you can still get it in Torghast, but you can also get it from pretty much everywhere else in endgame content in 9.2, so you can run Torghast, but you definitely do not need to for any reason whatsoever in this patch. Moving on, let's talk about the raiders. New raids in World of Warcraft are one of the biggest reasons to come back for a patch for a lot of players. Whether you want to see the new environments, new mechanics, or see how the story ends, new raids are always incredibly fun. The Sepulchre of the first one is going to be a bit special though, because the last 3 bosses in this 11 boss raid have not been tested or even seen by the public. So everyone is going into those blind, which is definitely new for recent raids or expansions. We're also facing off against the Jailer at the end of this raid, so we should be putting the final pins in the Shadowlands story. All of the bosses that we did test look to be fun and varied, and from what we can see in the Dungeon Journal, the last few bosses, the Jailer especially, has a lot going on, so if you love new encounters, the 9.2 raid should be a blast. Raiders will also enjoy easier and faster access to the tier gear we talked about earlier. While technically everyone has access to tier gear both through the weekly vault and the creation catalyst later on, tier gear only drops reliably from the new raid. There are 5 tier pieces and each piece drops from a specific boss. So everyone's headpiece drops from the same boss, everyone's chest piece drops from the same boss, etc, etc. So you know exactly where to look for the piece of tier gear you're missing. Having easier access to tier gear means raiders get to power up faster and enjoy their set bonuses for longer in patch 9.2. Not everyone is a raider though, some players love to stick to smaller 5-man content like dungeons, so is there anything awesome to look forward to for the Dungeoneers out there? Well, about as much as you would expect from a new patch. There's no new dungeon, sadly, but the Tazavesh Mega Dungeon is getting split into 2 for 2 new Mythic Plus Keystone options, so that's nice at least. Then we also have the next Mythic Plus season starting in patch 9.2 with the brand new seasonal affix, Encrypted. Throughout your dungeons you'll find progenitor relics, and they'll end up giving you some big buffs depending on the order in which you kill them. You can get big haste buffs, movement speed buffs, cooldown reduction buffs, so you might want to trigger different effects in different dungeons or in different areas of a dungeon depending on what you anticipate to do next. It could be a lot of fun, or at least more fun than the Anima Orb power anyway, so that's a big plus in my opinion. And then last but not least, let's talk about PvP. Of course, with a new season of Shadowlands, we're going to get a new season for rated PvP as well, so you can climb the ratings once again, push for those shiny titles and achievements and mounts, and destroy all the noobs who try to stand in your way. Or, if you're more like me, get destroyed as a noob trying to stand in someone's way. It goes both ways, you know? There is something special for PvP this time though, a brand new arena. You'll be able to face off against your adversaries in the Maldraxxus Colosseum. Prove you're the best of the best in the best Colosseum you could ask for. We were actually supposed to get 2 new arenas for this patch, but one of them had to be delayed to ensure everything works properly, but that means in a future smaller patch we'll also get to play in the Enigma arena. Apparently this one is going to be a bit of a weird arena and things might change in it. You can maybe use some First One's power to turn the tides of battle. Either way, it's not quite finished yet, so it's something to look forward to in the very near future. And then there's also a brand new Brawl coming, which could pave the way for something PvP players have been asking for a while, solo queue. The new Brawl is called called Solo Queue Shuffle, and it lets you queue into an arena all by yourself, and then the teams get shuffled around as you win and lose. It's pretty interesting, and I think solo queue for PvP could be a good addition to the game, so if this brawl goes well, we might see solo queue sometime in the future. So with all of that in mind and all of this new content to do for all these different types of players in World of Warcraft, is patch 9.2 worth coming back to the game for? I would say yes, and I'm definitely looking forward to working my way through all of this new content, but that's my thoughts on the matter, and that's it for this video. Do you think patch 9.2 is worth coming back for? What are you most excited and least excited for going into this patch? If you aren't coming back, what are you doing instead? Playing another game, spending your time elsewhere, or just taking a break in general? Leave all your thoughts in the comment section below. A big thank you to all of our supporters over on Patreon and to everyone who's subscribed on Twitch. You can see their names floating by on screen. If you want to see more videos like this, make sure to subscribe and ring that notification bell so you never miss another video. Thanks for watching, folks. Good luck and have fun, and as always, I will see you next time.